It is that time of the year, time to break out the boxing gloves. It is time for the 108th edition of the Backyard Brawl. We're going to talk all about it, break down this matchup, the last one until 2029, here today on the Walk Thru GameDay Show.
Look at what happens when you're consistent, again, in all three phases of the game. Look at what happens when you're focused and you don't have the mental breakdown and the MAs that prevent you from doing exactly what they did in Stillwater.
Rich Rodriguez has a strong backing. Ken Kendrick, Pat McAfee, Ike Morris, so on and so forth. There's a lot of people with deep pockets that are ready to help this football team win.
Your lightning in the bottle guy is your lightning in your bottle guy. So sometimes you can't put him in that role because he's going to get beat up and nicked up throughout the course of the game, which does take away from his flashiness and his ability to make big plays.
Give me the Mountaineers, baby.
But yeah, this rivalry it's a lot of fun. It has to keep going.
Let's go Mountaineers, all day, every day. Let's go.
Welcome back in, everybody. It's another week of the Walk Thru GameDay Show. I'm Schuyler, Callihan, and I'm flanked by the one and only Eugene, Napoleon, former Mountaineer running back. We also played for the team up north, by the way. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Make our predictions, as always. Make sure you hang to the end of the show so you get a chance to win Eugene's autograph. Unfortunately, I haven't checked yet, but I'm assuming we probably didn't have any winners last week because probably everybody picked West Virginia. But you know how it is. So we'll talk about that. We'll get in depth there at the end of this matchup, offense and defense and everything. But we're going to start here at the very top of this show with the injury news with Jahiem White and Jaden Bray. We talked about it on Between the Ears earlier this week, Gene, but I feel like we kind of talked more so about, you know, the guys that are next up in that scenario. And I think really today we kind of need to talk about the big picture here. When you have two big-time guys go out like that, or especially Jahiem White was a proven star for you, and Jaden Bray was kind of coming into his own, really showing – you know, that he was worth all the hype from last year and from the fall camp. It just feels like WVU's in a really tough spot right now offensively because they couldn't move the ball, obviously, against Ohio. You lose those two types of playmakers. And I think the immediate feeling for maybe you, myself, and the rest of West Virginia fans is like, oh, boy, like this is – buckle up. It's about to be a long – you know what year, but you've been through some tough times before. You've seen guys that go down to injury that you don't want to see go down, and it can kind of take two different routes. You either see guys rise to the occasion and you're just fine, or it's what you kind of think, you know, at the onset, and it's panic time. So with that being said, Jahiem White out, Jaden Bray out. Do you feel like there is a reason to be panicked right now if you're a West Virginia fan?
Well, I'm not going to say a reason to be panicked, but what I will say, the next man up mentality has to kick in. The question is, do they have enough talent to, I'm not going to say replace Gray or White, but do they have enough talent and enough consistency and getting big plays out of both those positions, the tailback position and the receiver position? Because let's be clear, those guys, more so Jahiem than Gray, were, I mean, it's hard to replace a Jahiem White for many things that he does, from the passing game, blocking, obviously running the football. There's a level of comfort when you see him in the backfield.
Oh yeah.
Now, without him, it bears the question. We're gonna have to go running back by committee, but more importantly, who will be the bell cow for not only the Pitt game, but moving forward? That's a bigger question because we knew Jahiem was proven. Like you said, he was proven. And of course, Gray was coming into his own at wide receiver. But the thing with the tailback position that makes it a little bit different than our wide receiver position, with a Cam Vaughn in the mix, you're going to get big plays. He is a proven commodity at that position, even though this is his first year in Morgantown. You go back and you look at what he did at Jack State. He's a proven commodity, right? A big play proven commodity. I'll say it that way. What for me, Rich and that staff is really tasked with calming everybody down, take a deep breath. We lost 2 marquee players on offense. Who's going to step up to fill those roles? Who's going to step up? So it's more of a calm down. We got this. We're going to rally around. If it's running back by committee, which it will be. If it's let's take one play at a time at receiver, which it will be. We need to rally around our guys and we need to support them. That's more of I think the mentality that you have to take versus getting in panic mode. You can't it's too early to get in panic mode. You can't.
Right.
Simmer down, and now next man up mentality. Here's why we brought you here. Okay. Show us what you got in a real pivotal and crucial time.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think the thing too with these injuries, like obviously you don't want to see these happen. You don't want to see Jahiem White go down and you don't want to see Jaden Bray go down. But I think the way to look at it, if you're part of this team or part of this coaching staff, instead of having the mindset of, oh, why us? That type of mindset, just look at it as like, hey, this is who we are from here on out. Like we can't go back and undo the injuries. We can't go back and protect them from it happening or preventing it from happening. This is who we are from here on out. And kind of like I said the other day on one of the Between Years shows, I believe, was like what you put on tape against Ohio is not good enough. It's very clear. I mean, even the defense, there were some things over there that wasn't perfect. So do you want that to kind of be who you are, who you are on tape? Do you want that to be the narrative around this team for the next 10 games? Or do you want to change that? You have plenty of games left to go to make that change. You'd like for it to be this week, obviously, against Pitt, but you can go back out, get that bad taste out of your mouth from last week in Athens very quickly and make a lot of people feel a lot better about you in this entire situation by just rising to the occasion. You don't have to be the next Jahiem White, the next Jaden Bray, but you have to be productive. You have to be in where you're supposed to be in the offense. You lined up right, doing your assignment. Just the small little details is what's going to make this thing click a lot faster and a lot better. The big plays are going to come naturally. Rich will scheme it up. He's going to find ways to make that happen. He's always been able to. So I don't think there's a worry in that. It's just about getting these guys to play consistent football where there's not egregious errors, whether that's blocking in the perimeter at receiver or just running the right route depth on the route or making the right cut at running back, understanding the offensive line. There's a lot that goes into it, but yeah, I'm with you. Probably a little too early to hit the panic button. I know for the fans, it's like, oh my goodness, like this sucks. This is, you wait all off season long to see this and see this offense with Jahiem, and here you go. But look, as I said, this is an opportunity for them to move forward. Guys are going to have more opportunities that they probably weren't expecting, and now they got to take the most make the most of that, and not allow what happened in Athens be who you are for the rest of the year. So, anyways, let's move on here to the future of the Backyard Brawl, Gene, and this is the funny part because Pat Narduzzi, he's always how do I put this? Let's just say he likes to spread some misinformation. And we heard a few months back that he, when they asked him on a radio interview in Pittsburgh about the game being a 3:30 kick and not 7 o'clock, and he said, "Oh, well, they may not be as liquored up, and they may they may not throw full beer cans at you on the field this time." I'm like, come on. And
Wow.
then you have the Pitt quarterback saying that he's been hearing about the WVU atmosphere and that they've been telling him about people throwing batteries and beers and kids flipping them off. Like, come on. Like, I don't know where these narratives begin. It's ridiculous. But anyways, Narduzzi said back during I think it was ACC media days that Pitt had tried to make it work out in the next 3 years, and that wasn't the case. Ren Baker even came out and said in his yearly press conference before the start of the season that when they found out, some of the things that were going on with their schedule, that they reached out to Pitt to see if they could make that work. So they knew that they were trying to extend the series. But anyways, let's take a listen to what Pat Narduzzi and also what Rich Rod said when asked about Narduzzi's comments.
Yeah, I think, and again, I don't speak for Alan, but I think our athletic director has reached out to them and they already got it filled up. So, which meant maybe they didn't want to play us. I don't know. They filled it up, but if they knew that was going to happen, I know if we knew that was going to happen, that'd be our first call. So, whatever. Can't do anything about it.
All I know, when the Alabama thing happened, it was that very rarely do you can find another Power 4 team that had the same opening and fit the schedule. So I think it was Virginia that we're playing now. I'm not sure. You guys would know, but anyway, yeah, it was. Yeah, we were. I know our folks did a good job finding that game, for them to replace Alabama.
Yesterday, I was at Pitt's press conference. Pat Narduzzi was asked about that, and he said he didn't want to speak for Pitt's athletic director, but he thought that that Pitt had reached out to West Virginia when those scheduling, those openings came up on the schedule, and then basically said, maybe he was being sarcastic, but maybe they didn't want to play us. I don't know. But can you speak to sort of your desire for continuing the rivalry and whether you feel that y'all have made attempts to keep this game on?
Yeah, I think we're playing again in 29, and then we'll see what happens after that. That's, like I said, it would be great after 20. When that starts back up again after 29, if it fits in the schedule, that would be great for that to continue then.
So there you have it. It's basically, both sides pointing the finger at each other. And at the end of the day, Gene, I don't care. And I don't think anybody cares on either side of this who said what. Both should have found a way to get this done. But I think it goes back to the previous administrations at West Virginia and at Pitt. When it was Heather Lyke at Pitt, Shane Lyons here, the way they built the schedule, I think that's more so on them. Yes, Ren Baker and Alan Green could have maybe figured something out, but it's really hard to do that when these schedules are built out so far in advance and you're trying to bridge a 3-year gap. It sucks, but I feel like when it returns in 2029, both of these administrations have no excuse but to make that thing permanent from 2029 on out.
I agree 100%. And this is a series, to be honest with you, I don't care what conference you're in. This is a series that should never go away. Mm-hmm. The Backyard Brawl is a staple, and it should remain a staple for as long as West Virginia and Pitt are playing football. Period. That's my humble opinion on it. Leave it as what it is. This is what it should be. So I agree with you 100%. And I'm looking forward to seeing what happens after the 2029 season, moving forward with this scheduling wise with these particular, two teams. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah,
should be a staple again, and that's the way it should be.
Yeah, and like Rich said in this press conference, he's been in a lot of rivalries. He's been in Michigan, Michigan State, Michigan and Ohio State, Arizona, Arizona State. And Michigan Ohio State's a pretty big one. They literally dubbed it the game, right? And he still believes that this is the most intense rivalry that he's ever played in or coached in, whatever you want to call it. He's done both. Let's go to you. All right. You've been in this. You've been on both sides of this now. So we've talked about this a couple of times before in the past, but what was it like for you when you were on the Pitt side of this rivalry? And then what was it like on the West Virginia side? Explain how you felt the hatred from the Pitt fans when you were at Pitt, their hatred towards West Virginia, and vice versa, what that impact felt throughout the week.
It's crazy because and that's the words you just used is exactly right. Hatred. It's one of these deals where it's, you look at it and you think it's just another football game. Well, no, it's not just another football game. When I was at Pitt my freshman year, I remember gearing up for this game. And for me, unfortunately, I was coming back on campus after burying my oldest sister. And the next game was the West Virginia game in Morgantown. So it was a lot of different emotions and so much going on at that time during that week. It was one of the most intense weeks of practices I've ever had at any level, right? You got a clear sense. I was a true freshman, but I understood the magnitude of this game. I really did.
Yeah.
So I get it, from the students at Pitt to the students at West Virginia to the old lady in the freaking airport. Listen, oh my goodness, it was intense. So I understood it. So when you flip that, and then coming into Morgantown as a Pitt Panther, oh yeah,
you got to earn some people's trust now.
Oh, listen, you heard it. You understand what I'm saying, Schuyler? You heard it.
Yeah.
Well, I heard some things about my mama. You understand?
Oh.
And you don't you're like, wow, like you looking up like, what, really? Come on, dog. It's like, I get it. But when you flip that, conversely, coming to West Virginia and then playing against Pittsburgh, yeah, again, the intensity of that game. When we went to Pitt under Don Nehlen, to be honest with you, Coach Nehlen had he let you understand how important this game is, but he also let you understand it's still just a game.
Well, we got to get the impersonation. It only sounds better. Give us what it sounded like to hear Coach Nehlen describe what this rivalry meant. Let's hear it.
We're coming in, we're in the locker room, and let's say this is before we're heading to Pitt, right? Fellas, let me tell you something. You know what we have to do. We're going to get after them. But I want everybody to a man, be responsible, and you keep your emotions in check. But we're going
to you got the finger. For people that don't know, you got to tell them about the finger.
Well, so Coach Nehlen unfortunately has he has a little crooked finger. So, and let me tell you something. If you did something right or if you did something wrong, because he's going to hit you. I love you, Coach. I love you. But what I loved and had such a great deal of respect for that man, he kept it football, but he also, we understood the assignment. You understand? Like, sure. He let us know, look, this is Pitt, and we're going to go to Pitt, and we're going to handle our business. Now, the clever part about that was he didn't make it, we knew it was big, but he was real clever with making sure we understood, okay, now, you know what it is. You know this is the Backyard Brawl, but if I put too much emphasis on just that, I don't want you guys going here, blowing assignments, being so hyped up that you have miscues on the first series, because against Pitt, every series is important. Against everybody, every series is important. Every
snap, you feel it.
Pitt, you feel something a little different. And if anybody who ever played in this Backyard Brawl tells me anything different from a player's perspective, even a coach's perspective, a cheerleading perspective, then come on. You're not being completely forthright and you're not being honest. I did not like, when I left Pitt, I did not like Pittsburgh. Let me be clear. So, yeah. So for me, every single time we played them,
it was personal for you.
I'm ultra personal for me. I mean, ultra. I understood, for me, it meant more than just a football game. Wins and losses against Pitt meant more than just football to me. I took it personally because of how I left and why I left was personal.
Mhm.
So it was, for me, always, it was bigger than just a singular football game.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, when you played in these games on the West Virginia side, I mean, obviously, it probably felt the same way either side, so I guess it really doesn't matter there. But when you play in these backyard brawls, what is the feeling like? Just from when you run out onto the field to that first snap? How long does it take to get out of you that maybe that anxious feeling that you have, or is it there the entire game?
So no. I mean, I'll speak for myself. For me, I'm the type of person that the minute the ball is kicked off, it's go time. So the butterflies are gone the minute I hear the thud of the kicker's toe on the ball.
But you feel it in warm-ups and the crowd's packing in and
so you're feeling all of it. Yeah, you're feeling all of the how would I put it? The excitement energy, the anxious energy, and the let's get it going energy. You feel all of that. But again, for me personally, the minute the ball is kicked off, whether we're receiving it or whether we're kicking off to the to Pitt, I'm kind of even killed at that point. Now it's time to go, right?
right.
I can tell you this. The first time I had a chance to suit up and play against Pittsburgh in Morgantown, my heart was exploding in my chest because I couldn't wait.
I guarantee it. I guarantee it.
Oh my God. I could not wait to hit somebody, block somebody, run over somebody. Schuyler, probably one of the most anticipated games of my entire career on any level, honestly. That's how much disdain I had for Pitt. And it was the same way every single time we played them. I had the same, like, ooh, in my gut. I had the same, like, ooh, in my heart. And sometimes, let me be clear, it's not good to always play with that.
Right.
Because you're so overhyped, you're so over anxious.
Trying to do too much.
Right. No matter how much coach tried to calm me down, it was like, yeah, I want to get this. I want to get this. So I'm gonna tell you, for the young fellas, the seniors, the juniors, and the young pups, the freshmen and the sophomores, when you see how it feels on Saturday to run out of that tunnel against Pitt, I guarantee you, it'll be something that you've never experienced before, because you'll get the understanding the minute you run onto the field how important this game is, and you're not going to want to lose it.
Yeah, and the fans are going to – I mean, they'll hear it during warm-ups. I mean, 2 years ago when the game was in Morgantown, I mean, the fans were getting after the Pitt after the Pitt side whenever they were warming up. They were getting the chants going on and stuff. So they're going to feel it from the moment they get out of the locker room and just take the field for the first time in warm-ups. Even if it's not in pads, they're going to feel it. So
absolutely, it's a beautiful feeling. Listen, fellas, take it all in.
Take it all in.
Take it all
in, baby.
That's why you come to WVU. These are the type of games you come for. Big time major college football.
Absolutely. It's going to be a lot of fun this weekend. And we're going to dive into the game preview here in just a few minutes. We're going to take a break. And as always, though, we're going to do our trivia question of the week here, Gene, before we go. And then we come back and get your answers. Make sure you put your comments in the comment section here for the answer to see if you're right. You don't want anything for this, but have fun, play along here. Try to beat Gene, maybe. No Googling, though. That's the only rule we have here. No Googling. So here we go. This week's question. In 2011, Pitt quarterback Tino Sunseri fumbled on third down with no timeouts left. A Pitt offensive lineman recovered the ball, but the Panthers didn't have enough time to get another snap off, resulting in a 21-20 West Virginia win. Who was it that forced that fumble on third down? Was it A, Julian Miller, B, Najee Good, or C, Bruce Irvin? When we come back, we'll have the answer. This is the Walk Thru GameDay Show.
Let's go, Mountaineer Nation. The final whistle might blow, but the real breakdown is just getting started. Join us right after every WVU game for the Mountaineer Postgame Show. Instant analysis, real talk, and zero fluff. What went right, what went wrong, and what's next. We've got it all for you. Hit subscribe, turn on the notifications, and be part of the conversation. Win, lose, or draw, we're breaking it all down for you, Mountaineer style.
Want the most accurate updates on the West Virginia Mountaineers? Visit West Virginia on SI, the most trusted source on everything WVU. Several stories published every morning, every day before your feet hit the ground. From football, basketball, baseball, recruiting, transfer portal news, and more, we have it all for you. Every angle, every update, every morning. Schuyler, Callihan, Eugene, Napoleon. It is the Walk Thru GameDay Show. So before the break, we asked our trivia question. It's time to get the answer here. Again, the question. Tino Sunseri, the Pitt quarterback in 2011, fumbled on third down, resulting in the final play of the game. Who was it that forced the fumble and led the Mountaineers to that 21-20 win? Was it Julian Miller, Najee Good, or Bruce Irvin? Gene, who was it?
Bruce.
Damn, you got it. I was a little surprised there. I thought I was going to get you because Najee Good had the sack. I believe it was on second down, or maybe it was first down. I can't remember now. But Julian Miller, what a day he had. He actually tied the school record that day for sacks in a game.
Yeah.
So that's why I thought I was going to trip you up there because I gave you two other tough options. But yes, the answer was Bruce Irvin. The poor offensive lineman picked that thing up, started toting it down the field. He should have just fell right on it, got back on the line of scrimmage. But there you have it.
Yep.
Bruce Irvin. So, all right, Gene, let's go ahead before we get into our players to watch for this week. You know, it's time for your Napoleon's Dynamite, baby. So who do you got for me this week, my good sir?
You already know. Listen, I've been bragging about this young man ever since he stepped foot in Morgantown. None other than wide receiver extraordinaire, Cam Vaughn. Oh, Cam Vaughn. Listen, Sir Cam is going to have to do his thing this week versus Pitt. And I'm going to say this will be a breakout game for Sir Cam, and I'm going to tell you why. Players play big when the lights are brightest. And God only knows the lights will be bright in Morgantown Saturday afternoon, and Sir Cam will answer the bell.
Hey, that's not a bad pick. He's going to have to play big, especially now with Jaden Bray out. But I think, too, people just look at the Jaden Bray part of it, and understandably so. But look, as we talked about on Between the Ears a couple days ago, the RPO element is basically an extension of the run game. And he's a guy that you can flip it out to. If you can isolate him, get him one-on-one, you like that matchup a lot of times. So he's got the size, he's got the length, he's got the speed, he's got the make-you-miss ability. There's a lot to like about Cam Vaughn, and I think they're going to have to just find a way to just force-feed him the ball a bunch.
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me. I'm sorry.
Sir Cam, my bad.
Okay. Oh, there you go. All right. Okay. We good now.
So there is your Napoleon's Dynamite, Cam Vaughn. And now our players to watch for this one, as we already mentioned, Cam Vaughn. And on the defensive side, I'm going to go with Ashton Woods here, Gene, the linebacker for West Virginia, the North Carolina transfer. He played a good bit in the last game against Ohio, but didn't play well. I think he kind of would have liked to have a lot of snaps back. He missed some tackles we saw early in the game. He just overshot an opportunity to sack Parker Navarre. Just didn't take a good angle, came in way too hot. But with Reed Carrico being day-to-day, at this point, we don't know if he's going to play. Chase Wilson was a little banged up, so I feel like we're going to need to see a lot more out of Ashton Woods to step up and play well. There's other playmakers that are going to have to play to their expectations, but Ashton Woods is a guy I think needs to really step up. As for Pitt, I'm going Desmond Reed. He's their explosive, twitchy guy. He's their security blanket in the pass game. He's dangerous on punt returns. He took one back, I believe, in week one, or it may have been last week, actually, against Central Michigan. But he's got one punt return touchdown. He's very tough to go after. Rich Rod said he was even somebody that they tried to recruit at Jack State. Defensively, I could have won a number of players here. But I'm going to go with Jimmy Scott. This is a guy that's constantly in the backfield, driving the left tackle deep into the pocket, causing trouble, causing a lot of traffic around the quarterback's feet. Jimmy Scott's a guy that's just going to fire off the ball and make life hell on every quarterback that he faces. So, Gene, just getting into let's start here with the Pitt offense, West Virginia defense for our preview. And let's start here with Eli Holstein, the quarterback for Pitt. So far, just going off of what we have here, because that's the only thing we can go off of. And we know last year we saw him a little bit and understand how dynamic he can be, even with his legs. He's not
Right.
Parker Navarro, but he's a
Right.
little slippery. He's athletic. You got to give him his respect. But really where he's going to make his hay is in the pass game. And when you look at his breakdown, and we'll show this up here on the screen too, you don't want to keep any quarterback clean because, typically that's when they're going to do their most damage. But, Gene, this guy's damn near perfect when kept clean. 40 of 43 for 442 yards and 7 touchdowns. He's got 1 pick. The interesting number here for me is when he's blitzed. We kind of saw similar numbers last week with Parker Navarro. He was pretty efficient against the blitz. He made Rutgers pay twice with touchdown tosses. Here's another guy, too, that does the same thing. When blitzed, he is 15 of 19 for 155 yards and 3 touchdowns. But when he's not blitzed, weirdly enough, he's only 21 of 32, 5 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. So that's where his 2 picks on the year have come. Dial me up this game plan for Zach Alley, Gene. How are you going to attack Eli Holstein to limit him in the pass game, make him make some mistakes like you did with Parker Navarro 3 times last week?
Listen, again, you can't keep him clean. He can't be clean. You have to put together different blitz packages. You have to put constant pressure on this young man and move him off his spot. He can't be comfortable. So let's think about that. Most quarterbacks, if you're a halfway decent quarterback, especially at this level, if you're comfortable, you're going to cause some damage, right? Yeah. So off his spot, make sure he's not comfortable, and make sure you're making him make the reads a lot quicker than what he wants to. It's as simple as that. Force him to make reads quicker than he wants to, and I really believe we're going to come up, hopefully we'll come up with 1 or 2 picks. Hopefully we'll make him throw the ball before he wants to, so his timing is off. And I think by doing that, different exotic blitz packages, and to be honest with you, don't allow him to break the huddle and he's already looking at what you're doing in coverage.
Yeah.
So Zach Alley is really good with disguising certain things. This week, even more so, I think we're going to have to disguise a lot on defense to keep him off his game and to make him uncomfortable. Don't let him become comfortable being uncomfortable, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, and if just judging by the numbers, you would like to, you obviously, this is something you could say every week, but you would like to win with that front 4. If you can just get home with 4 or maybe 5, then that's great, because then you can drop more resources. And we've seen there's at times, even going back to last year, when Eli has a lot of people in coverage, there are times where it may confuse him and he still tries to force some things, and that's where he gets in trouble. That one of his pick against Central Michigan, or the one pick against Central Michigan, just shouldn't have happened. It was the one, I think it was the one in the end zone, or as they were driving, just threw it way into coverage. He stepped up into the pocket, just should have never made the throw, and they didn't bring anybody, I don't believe, on that play. So they brought their front defensive front, and that was it. So if you can get home with that front 4, then that's going to be great. Now, we don't know Jamori Robinson's status as we record this. We heard earlier in the week that he was going to be cleared. Rich Rod then said in his presser it's still kind of a question mark if he's going to be able to play this week or not. So I don't know if that's going to happen, but you still have pieces that you can work with up there to get after this. And some notes on the Pitt offense. Their pass protection was really good across the board against Duquesne, but again, it's Duquesne. We don't need to talk too much, but that's the equivalent a little bit to Robert Morris in their situation. Obviously, Duquesne's much better than Robert Morris, but that's neither here or there. Against Duquesne, though, the left side of that offensive line, particularly the center and the left guard. Didn't play extremely well in the run game. And last week against Central Michigan, the entire offensive line really struggled to get much push in the run game. They missed some assignments that I noticed. I mean, I don't know their assignments, but I'm assuming, just judging on what was happening on those given plays, that they missed some things. Also in pass pro, their tackles really struggled against the Chips. 3 pressures, 2 hurries, 1 sack between the left and right tackle alone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, I feel like West Virginia's got more horsepower than what Central Michigan has defensively.
I feel good about all of that.
Exactly. Now, on the flip side, West Virginia's defense, that, like we said, when you defend 40 minutes of football, Gene, it's really, really hard to kind of nitpick because, I mean, they did everything they could to keep that game within reach. Every time Ohio tried to get it out to 2 or 3 scores, they kept them right there. They gave the offense another chance after another chance, and it's really hard to nitpick. But one thing they could fix is the missed tackles. A bunch of them. 20, Gene. 20 missed tackles against Ohio. I mean, I know some of those were Parker Navarro just doing his thing and making people look stupid, but he's going to do that to everybody. But still, there was one play that he scrambled. They actually kept contained. He scrambled. He stepped inside and ran through the in between the tackles, and there was at least 3 missed tackles, maybe even 4, that moved the chains. You cannot have those. You had them dead to rights. You've got to finish those plays. 20 missed tackles, way too many for anybody's liking, especially Zach Alley.
Absolutely. So that's one. 2, the one, I guess, maybe it was a blown coverage or a miscommunication in the back end on a touchdown pass. You can't have that. You can't have a slot receiver running through the zone of your defense. You can't have that. So between the 20 missed tackles and between that one blown coverage, okay, honestly, for me, that's about it. Outside of that defense played as clean of a game as you possibly could, because basically in the second half they clearly pitched a shutout.
Yeah.
And you stop to think about that. So that's how I'm looking at it. That's the lens I'm viewing this game from last week as far as the defense is concerned. Yeah, you had a bevy of missed tackles. We talked about that. And that one blown coverage, for me, the defense played as well as they could have played under the circumstances when the offense couldn't get going.
Hey, okay? Zach Alley has not allowed a single point in the second half so far this season. I know the opponents aren't the greatest, but hey, it's something.
Listen, you can only play who's on your schedule. Okay? You can only play who's on your schedule. So let's be clear. Now, if he does that on Saturday, all right, we may be erecting a statue.
Yeah, I think, and maybe giving him more than what he's already expected to be paid.
I'm gonna be honest with you. If he does that on Saturday, and Pitt goes home with a big L, okay, you might be talking about him in the same breath as all the other, probably for me, top 2 or 3 DCs in the country in college football right now.
Yeah, I mean, he's worth.
That means 3 games, you didn't give up a single point in the second half of football. Listen, now that's saying something. That's getting it done at a very high level.
It definitely is. He's been worth every damn penny that WVU is paying him and will pay him in the future. Last couple of things here on WVU's defense. 8 of those 20 missed tackles came from Curtis Jones, the young bandit. He's got a bright future. He just there was a couple of times, again, he kind of came in hot or just got caught reaching for a guy, just got out of bad technique. Ashton Woods, we mentioned him as players to watch. He had 4 as well. The secondary as a whole, pretty bad in terms of coverage grade. They gave up some yardage. This is some of the grades that I have here. I'm not going to read through them, but they're all from PFF. The only one that didn't was KK Tarnu, and he played extremely well. He had that huge tackle for loss on the 3rd down right before Ohio decided to go for it on 4th and short, which ended up being one of Navarro's 3 interceptions. Huge day
Right.
for Navarro, but that secondary has got to play better. The standard's much higher. They've got a lot of talent in that group, especially Michael Coates and so on. Need better play for them. So let's go ahead and flip it over here now to West Virginia's offense and Pitt's defense. Gene, I mean, where the hell do you begin? I mean, we could have another whole hour of this preview going through the quarterback situation, the offensive line trouble, Pitt's defensive front being athletic as they can be, trying to figure out answers for Jahiem White and Jaden Bray. Where the hell do you want to go?
So let's start. Let's start quarterback first. Let's start at the CEO position first.
All right.
QB.
Let's go there. So
Yes.
Rich did not name a starter in his press conference on Tuesday. Pretty much to be expected.
Right.
It makes no sense for him to. I think Pitt obviously knows probably it's going to be Nico Marchiol, but we did see Jalen Henderson in I believe it was at the end of the third quarter. He got a couple of plays, didn't really do much there. But I really feel like you're going to see more of a 2 QB system this week. Now, again, is that a true 50-50 split? I don't know. I don't believe so. I think you're still going to see one guy dominate, but who knows? It may not even be Jalen Henderson. He talked about that there was almost a third quarterback that got into the game during his coach's show on Monday. So is it Max Brown? Is it Scotty Fox? Who knows? But Nico has to play better. I understand the offensive line did not do well, but I went back and rewatched this Ohio game twice.
Mm-hmm.
Twice. Once the full game, and then the second time I just watched the offensive line, and that was it. The pass protection was not terrible. It was really the run blocking that was the issue. Gene, when I looked this up, Nico had 2.87 seconds per time to throw. Last week, that ranked 37th in the entire FBS, and I put it in I dropped it and kind of filtered it out to where it was minimum 20 dropbacks. Eli Holstein last week for Pitt had less time to throw, and yet he still finished with, 304 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
So he had 2.79 seconds. Nico had 2.8. So to me, even when I was watching the tape, I didn't even look at the time to throw average because I wanted to see what the film was going to tell me. And I didn't think that pass protection was terrible. There was clearly some plays where he was getting some traffic around his feet. The guards didn't do great. There were times where they were up in his face, but it wasn't constant. It's going to come down to Nico making more quicker, decisive reads and just getting the ball out faster.
1,000% correct. You have, first off, if you already know that your offensive line is struggling a little bit, okay, OC, offensive coordinator, let's start dialing up some things where he can get the ball out of his hands a little bit quicker to help him out. Get him in rhythm a little bit quicker, okay? I don't care if that's screens, if that's some quick slants. Get the ball out of his hands a little bit quicker, and that is on the play caller, okay? Let me say that. Secondly, this is something that you prepare for all week in practice. All right, your starter. Mm-hmm. This is what you prepare for. So if we're not having a great day up front, then I need you to make quicker decisions. But I'm going to help you with that. I'm going to help you with that with my play calling. When I script plays for you, and I'm going to see the first series will tell me everything I need to know. If we're struggling a little bit, okay, we're doing this. But that also means, like you just said, Nico cannot hold on to the ball if his offensive line is already struggling. Mm-hmm. He also has to help the offensive line as well.
Yeah.
So it's a two-way thing. And I'm sure they cleaned that up this week. I'm sure they have. I'm sure they cleaned it up to the best of the ability of whomever is going to be the main signal caller. That's what you got to go by. Yeah. Whoever's going to be the main guy, these are the things we need you to do, because we cannot be back there charging the ball, patting the ball, talking to the ball, singing to the ball. No, we can't be doing all that. We have our hands quickly and efficiently.
And with Nico, too, again, he's not the most dynamic run threat. He can run the ball. He's a willing runner. But this is where it becomes problematic for me. And this is why I said on Sunday that the
Mhm.
quarterback situation is a massive problem, in part because the offensive line isn't doing their job too. But if Nico is the guy that Rich trusts the most to run the offense and feels like he's the most consistent, he knows where to go with the ball, whether it's in the pass game or RPO game or read game, then it's a massive problem because if he's not making his decisions faster, one,
Right.
that's a problem. And second of all, he needs to know that, look, if I can't get a throw off in a certain amount of time, I've got to take off. Because if he waits to that 2.87 seconds or close up to it or the 2.5 second mark, he ain't outrunning anybody. That's the truth of it. So he's got to process things faster. That's the number one thing for me that I saw. I understand the offensive line's a massive issue, but again, I went back, watched it. There's other people that are saying the same thing when they watch the tape. Even Rich Rod has said it. The pass protection was not a massive issue. Go back and watch it. There's many plays where he had time to get rid of the football. He just either didn't or didn't see things as clearly. I don't know. There was also some throws that he missed, some throws that he made that were maybe not the greatest ball placement. That one up to the sideline to Jacob Barrick, wide
Yes.
open, first down, should have had it, just didn't place
Yeah.
it right. So I don't
Right.
know, but you've got to get the ball out faster. And I guess this leads me to my second point. Rhythm building plays have to happen. And I'm not talking the 12 to 15 to 18 to 20-yard plays. You'd love to have those, but for this offense to truly get going, they need to have these quick completions that go, 4 to 5 yards in the RPO, bust, a bubble screen out there, do something in the read game with Sincere Bowers or, Dior Hubbard or somebody, get 4 or 5 yards and just constantly get positive yardage. Last week, they lost on first down so much that they were playing behind the chains and they were averaging to be in a 3rd and 7 situation. You cannot play winning football being in 3rd and 7, Gene.
No. Well, first off, you make your offense, it's predictable at that point.
Yeah.
It's predictable. And you're playing behind the chains. So now you're pretty much playing into the defense's hands when you do that. So you have a style of offense that technically you shouldn't be behind the chains, technically, because that's the whole point of the rhythmatic offense that you run, this up-tempo offense that you're running. Supposedly, it provides you an opportunity to have a quantum advantage against the defense,
Yeah.
not the other way around. So,
Like we saw last week.
yeah. So I'm hoping that they get this cleaned up and buttoned up, especially this week, because let's say this, right? If you don't, here's what you run into. You start the following week your conference schedule. You start the Big 12 conference schedule the week after this game, right? You do not want to go in to starting your conference schedule and you don't have this stuff cleaned up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because now it becomes a snowball effect. Now it's more problematic than need be. And I don't particularly think you go into your conference games with all these question marks, be it the offensive line, be it the quarterback, be it at certain, your running back, be it, the rotation of your receivers and the comfortability of what they're doing. That's just not a good feeling.
Right.
So I'm hoping that this Pitt game provides an opportunity to get back on track, get a win, and go into the conference feeling real good about winning some football games and moving forward. That's what I'm hoping for.
You've got to eliminate some of those concerns. You're not going to put a Band-Aid on every single one of them, but you at least have to find some answers to get going. And that's why I say with the rhythm builders, like just easy completions to get the offense going and not be in 2nd and 10 or 2nd and 12 or 2nd and 9. You need to get in 2nd and 6 or 2nd and 5. Make things a lot easier for you. And that's how you get into your tempo. There's no other way to do it. You're not going to get another team to suck air and have hands on their heads or their knees if you're constantly living in 3rd and 7 or you're constantly playing at 2nd and 10. It's just not going to happen. So
absolutely.
Let's talk about some of this offensive line and then we'll get to the running backs here. offensive line play, again, we already mentioned it. The run blocking grade's not too pretty. there's
Yeah.
there's some people out there that are very upset about maybe what Rich Rod said, or maybe they're concerned about what he said, how there wasn't many missed assignments. It was more just they weren't getting enough push. And I think a lot of people are taking that as, oh, we just, they just don't have the talent. I don't really think that's necessarily what he's hinting at. He did
Mhm.
mention that there were some things that OU was doing defensively that kind of played into that. Now Pitt's going to have that same tape. You've got to be able to coach off of that.
Right.
And I think it's also some of the play calling too. You've got to do things that your guys do well. He's admitted that. How do you get this run game or this offensive line period to gel in the next couple of days before they take on Pitt, which has got an extremely athletic defensive line? Gene, you look up and down their front four. I mean, they're not huge guys. They're 6'3". We got 6'3", 250, 6'1", 280, 6'3", 295, 6'3", 260. Not one guy over 300 pounds. They're not big, but they are
No.
extremely fast and athletic, and they can fire off the ball and get in the backfield in a hurry.
Here's what's crazy. So when you have an athletic defensive line like that, and it's funny. So you know how we can term a skilled player twitchy?
Mm-hmm.
It's funny that you can say the same thing about this Pitt defensive line.
Yeah.
They're athletic and they're twitchy. So at the end of the day, it could be problematic for our O-line. Again, if our O-line don't come into this game with the mindset, we need to smash these jokers up front because we did not play well as a unit. As a unit, we didn't play well against Ohio. We have to prove a point. They have to come in with that mindset. They have to come in with that road grader mindset in the run game. I am going to punch you in the mouth.
Yeah.
Sir. Look, multiple times.
I mean, it is the backyard brawl. So
Okay. Throughout this contest, I am going to put you on your back and pancake you multiple times. If they don't come in with that mindset in the run game, I'm telling you, we will be in trouble because of the athleticism of Pitt's front four. And sometimes when they bring somebody in the box, that becomes problematic because the whole point is if they know you can't run the football, they're going to help you not run the football.
Yeah.
Just the defensive fronts and the schemes that they run, to prevent the run game from getting going. We cannot afford that this week because if we get the run game going, it's only going to help Nico or whomever the play callers are going to be. It's only going to help our quarterback settle down, feel more comfortable, where you can make plays. There's nothing like having a great running game where play action off of a great running game is going to help you. That's how you win some football games and get your offense really going. It starts through the run game. We have to create push up front, dominant blocking up front, and really to set the tone. If we don't do that, it's going to be problematic on Saturday, honestly.
It is. And the other reason it's going to be problematic, not only is their defensive line very good, they've got really good athletic linebackers too, Gene. Like look at Kyle Lewis. He's their best defensive player. He's extremely active. He makes plays. He can change the game in a heartbeat. You got Braylon Lovelace, who's their Mike linebacker, who's going to come up and stick his nose up there in the run game and make some things pretty clogged up. And then you also have Rasheem Biles, who's their leading tackler, 15 tackles. If you can't get to that second level, oh my goodness, Gene, like you're in deep, what? Like it's going to be problematic, as you said. So that's a huge problem that they're going to have to try and deal with. Last week against Central Michigan, Pitt's defense had 15 pressures on the Central Michigan quarterback. 6 of those, by the way, came from Zach Crothers, who is the backup to our player of the game to watch, Jimmy Scott. He's a freshman. He comes in on passing situations, third downs. He don't look like a freshman, Gene. I'm telling you now. He fires off the ball quick. He gets into the backfield very fast. He's a problem. And they only had 2 missed tackles last week, too, against Central Michigan. So it's going to be quite the interesting feat and challenge for this offensive line to help get this passing game going, but also to help get this running game going, who doesn't have Jahiem White. So speaking of, before we get into our picks, with Jahiem out now, we already kind of talked about it on BTE earlier this week. Dior Hubbard, the depth chart came out. We have Clay Ash or Sincere Bowers or Dior Hubbard. So there's not really a starter name there. We expect that's probably going to be Clay Ash. But as I mentioned there, probably going to see more of the workload go to Bowers and or Hubbard. What are you looking for from those two guys? We previewed them back in the summer. You like both of them. What do you think about their ability to step in and take on more of a load?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. Listen, if this is the type of game where you earn your stripes, so to speak. It's games like this, especially this game. So the running back room as a whole, if it's Sincere Bowers, if it's Hubbard, Ash, you guys got to set the tone. You have to set the tone in the run game.
Run angry.
What do I mean by that? Okay, if you get hit, let's say if your lineman missed the block and you get hit, you have to somehow turn a negative into a positive. You have to somehow turn a getting hit in the backfield, spin off of it. I don't care if you have to dive for it to get a yard or two. You have to set the tone to help your offensive line, right? Then you have to tell them when you get in the huddle, don't worry about it. We got this. Let's go. Give them some confidence, because the minute you break 1, 2, that stuff becomes infectious. The other backs want to do the same. Now they like, okay, we got this thing rolling now. You have to do that. The run game, in order for us to win this game, the running backs are going to have to play big. I don't care who's back there. They're going to have to play big. We're going to have a 100-yard rusher in this game, or damn near close to it, to be honest with you, because that's going to balance out what we're doing in the pass game. We're going to have 90 yards or better in the run game to win this football game. So I don't care who's toting it. We're going to have that.
And you're going to have decisive runners too, like because of the aforementioned issues up front. If more often than not, they're probably going to get met at the line of scrimmage or maybe even behind it. So when you have a decisive back that knows where they're going to go, know what hole to hit, you can maybe kind of cover some of those issues up. Maybe not. You can't outrun all of it, but you're going to have some sort of decisiveness back there.
Ready? If you run 4-3, you can. Hint, hint.
Sincere Bowers, come on down.
Listen, you picked it up. Listen, I laid it up. You there you go right there. I'll leave it to you. Thank you.
You know how it'd be. So, all right, that's our game preview for the Backyard Brawl. It is time for our Week 3 Pick'ems, Gene. We are due, my good brother. Holy moly, 4-6 for both of us through the first 2 weeks of the season. Hey, it's got to turn around at some point, right? Maybe this is the week we shake it off and we get things going. So here we go, starting with a kickoff at noon on ESPN. It's number 12, Clemson at Georgia Tech. This is an interesting game. Clemson, obviously had the early season loss to LSU. Didn't look great offensively. Georgia Tech had the big win earlier in the year against Colorado. I'm going to go Clemson, but I was this close to going Georgia Tech. I really, really was. And I had some little voice in the back of my head. It sounded like Eugene Napoleon say, thank you for taking Georgia Tech. So I decided not to do that. I'm going with the ranked team this time, not pulling the upset. Give me Clemson in a nail-biter. I'm giving every bit of respect to Georgia Tech. They are a really good football team.
Georgia Tech is a really good team. Well coached. They're at home. That's a little something else to that. That's coming up. But like you, I'm going Clemson in a close one, because I think Clemson's to the point where you got to get it right. They have to start playing better. They got to get it right, and I think they get back on track with a good win and a tough win against Georgia Tech.
College game day is not coming to Morgantown, unfortunately, but they are going to Tennessee for their matchup against number 6 Georgia, 3:30 on ABC. I'm going with the upset here. I did not like what I saw last week from Georgia at all. I think they've got some serious question marks at quarterback. I don't know about Gunnar Stockton, if he's going to be good enough to win them a bunch of games this year. That's a tough place to play. They're going to be all lathered up for that one. I'm going with the Vols. Give me Joey Aguilar throwing for 250 and a couple of tuds for this one.
Oh, okay. Are you being downright disrespectful, sir? Okay. Listen, I got to go with them Bulldogs, man. I got to go with them dogs.
Oh, okay.
You know, they got to listen. They have to get it right. They have to play better. And it's so weird about what happened. They don't when they're not exactly clicking. They always find the right time, and this is the right time for them to click. Big time ball, right lights. That's when the dogs really show up. So no, they'll pull it out. I'm going with Georgia.
Number 18, South Florida at number 5, Miami, 4:30 on the CW. How about USF all of a sudden showing their early 2000s self? They beat Boise State handily in the opener. They go to the Swamp last week and beat the Florida Gators. They got a really good quarterback. I'm buying what they're putting down, but I just don't think they can get there for a third straight week. Top 5 opponent. Okay. I believe they have a really good chance of being the G5's representative this year, but I just think you can't do it 3 straight weeks. That's a lot of physical and mental fatigue.
Give me them canes, dog. Give me them canes. Throw it up. Give you, man. Give you.
Going to number 16, Texas A&M at number 8, Notre Dame, 7:30 on NBC. I went with Notre Dame last year, I believe, in this game when it was in College Station, and I'm going to go with Notre Dame again. I love Jeremiah Love, one of the best running backs in the country. I feel like when you play in South Bend, it's just a lot tougher than a lot of places. And I know some people have gone in there, wink, wink, Marshall, but those are far and few between. So I'm going to go with the Fighting Irish getting the win. I think they actually win this one pretty comfortably. It might be a slow start, but I think they kind of pull away there late in the fourth quarter.
And it's funny because now we are both clicking. We're both clicking because we're both feeling the same exact thing. I see it's hot because we started out as trash these last 2 weeks. So same, I feel the same. I think Irish will to your point, I don't think they're going to struggle in this game at all. You know, I think it'll be a slow start to your point, but I also think they will rev this thing up at home, give their crowd something to really cheer about. So I'm going with the Irish.
Well, folks, it's here. It's been 18 long years for Rich Rodriguez to get his chance at redemption, and he's got it this Saturday on September 13th. Yes, 9-13, the score of that dreadful 2007 game in December that knocked the Mountaineers out of the national championship game. It's the Mountaineers, it's the Panthers, it's the Backyard Brawl.
I would tell folks, even when I was at Michigan, that, hey, I know the Michigan-Ohio State rivalry is big, but, you know, it's probably to get more intense than West Virginia Pitt.
There's a lot of hatred in the game. I think the fans hate each other, and I think it goes way, way back. I think there's, for whatever reason, lots of scars that people have that they haven't got over them yet.
Even if it was 2 or 3 years afterwards, I'd probably be a little bit more on my mind. But that's a lifetime ago, And is it a sore spot when it's brought up? Yeah, it was the worst moment of my professional career from a game standpoint, and I tried to move past it a long time ago. So, but from that regard, it'd be good to get a win. It's not going to ease the pain from that.
All the things in the crowd and the stands and what happens when you're driving on the bus, all that stuff really doesn't matter. It's what happens on that football field that's going to matter, in the team that stays focused the best on really what the task at hand is winning a football game. One thing I'll say about a West Virginia football program is they will be tough, okay, and they will play great effort. When you put the tape on, you're seeing them fly around. They are playing hard. He's got them playing really hard and really tough and physical. So that's what I see on tape out of them.
All right, Gene, here we go. The 108th edition of the Brawl. I have been very, very deep in thought about this pick all week. And I want people to know that when I tell you that I feel like West Virginia is going to win the game, I'm telling you the truth. When I don't think they're going to win a game, I'm telling you the truth. I'm not here. It is not my job to come here and tell you every single week West Virginia is going to win. I can't do that. That's not part of my job. So, with that being said, Don't come after me. It's not the result we're all looking for. But after what we saw, it is very, very, very hard for me, and I'm sure a lot of others, to believe that come Saturday at 7 o'clock-ish, that West Virginia is going to walk out of that game with a win. So, unfortunately, I'm going to go with Pitt. And this is where I'm telling you, and this is also me making a statement here and telling you that if I pick a game, that's what my opinion is. So you should believe my opinion. I'm not here to tell you West Virginia every game. Gene, I don't want to do it, but I got to go Pitt.
Okay. All right. Listen, go on over there then. Go on over there, sir.
And hey, listen, if West Virginia wins, thank me, because I'm the one that made it happen with this pick. So what?
Now, you can't have it both ways. You can't have it both ways. I'm going to say this. As much as it bothers me I'm not here for hyperbole either, and to say, oh my God, it's West Virginia every week, because I honestly feel like what we have, the abilities that we have, we should be able to win the majority of these football games. Yeah. Honestly, I don't care. 72, 82, 102 new play, whatever. The bottom line is, this is why you pay the coaches what you pay them. This is why you bring the type of athletes in the way that you're bringing them in, to coach them up and to get them out there so they can play good, efficient football. With that being said, I am going to go with my Mountaineers. And
there we go.
I'm going to give you a score. West Virginia 24, Pitt 17.
I like it.
And we pull away in the fourth quarter. It's going to be a nail biter all the way through the game. Nip and tuck, fight, bite, crawl, whatever. In the fourth quarter, we make just enough plays to win that game 24-17.
Hey, I love it. And say, again, I'm here to say that if West Virginia wins, I'm saving this part, because you know how they do it on College Game Day, like that everybody picks the same team and the other guy's like, no, I'm not going to be the one to jinx it. So that's me this week, even though it's just two of us. But so look,
you want to be the jinxter. You want to jinx.
But look, no, I want to save it so that way West Virginia does get the dub. So
look, you ready? Go on over there. Go on over there, sir.
But no, honestly, like, I do feel like West Virginia has a chance to win this game if they bring their A game. You get guys to step up. But when you go back and truly think about this, for those that are thinking about, coming at me hard in the comments, think about where you were mentally after that game on Saturday against Ohio. And think about the challenges that are coming up. Think about losing Jahiem White and Jaden Bray. That's not easy to overcome in 1 week. So
it's not.
That's why, again, I'm telling you, I take my predictions very seriously and what I say very seriously, because I want you guys to know when I say something, I mean it. I'm not here to be biased. That's not what I want to do. You want my actual opinion, I'm going to give it to you. Hope I'm wrong. But from what we saw last week, it's really hard for me to get there. And we'll see how it all plays out. It doesn't mean that I'm wanting a certain result. Let's not take it that far, folks. It's not that far-fetched. I'm predicting who I think is going to win a dang game. I'm not signing on Pitt for anything else other than just thinking they're going to win the game. So we'll see. Hopefully I'm wrong. We're on the post-game show Saturday evening, and we're wrapping up a Mountaineer W in the 108th Backyard Brawl.
Go on over there, sir.
You're going to instigate this. I'm going to have 85 people in my comments and on my Twitter come Saturday, or probably before that. But hey,
right.
It's all fun. But look, hopefully I'm wrong, and we'll see how it plays out. But that's going to do it for us here on the Walk Thru GameDay Show, presented by West Virginia on SI. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. And again, don't make my pick take you away from doing that. We're here to do episodes every week. We do the best coverage of the Mountaineers possible, and I don't want you to think that I'm here hating on the Mountaineers. That's not what I'm here to do. So make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. And for Eugene, Napoleon, I'm Schuyler. Thank you for watching the Walk Thru GameDay Show. We'll see you back here on Saturday for the Mountaineer Postgame Show following West Virginia and Pitt. Take care.